So welcome back to the Vision on TV studio. We have in the studio now Billy Bragg, who's just done a workshop for songwriting with some of the activists here at Occupy UBS. Billy, could you tell us how it went?
I thought it went pretty well, really. I mean, it was really pretty straightforward. I was just talking about the techniques I use for writing songs and how you can fashion a song from an idea. You know, if you're going to write political songs, topical songs, you need to be picking up. You need your antenna up and tuning into the issues that you feel strongly about. But equally, you need to put a bit of yourself in there. And I was just trying to, by example, by playing songs and talking about them, how it is that you can write songs that connect with people.
And how did it go?
I thought it went pretty well. I mean, I wanted to sort of give some examples of how to mine a song out of an idea, because I think one of the problems that people have when I've talked about writing songs before is, what am I going to write about? How do I think what I'm going to write about? So with the help of a volunteer who read aloud an article from yesterday's Guardian newspaper about the Spanish indignados, all of us made notes of the things that we thought were important about that. And so I sort of, by example, kind of showed them how I'd refine down a newspaper article into the bones of ideas for a song in a couple of verses and stuff like that. So it was a mixture of me, a sort of a lecture, but also some practical hands-on, here's how you do it.
And we've got, over the years, these great songwriting teams, Lennon, McCartney, all the rest. We had Billy Bragg and a great big room of people today. How did that go? I mean, what's the dynamic of that?
It's not easy to write a song by committee. Very often it's quite a personal thing. Although I understand that J-Lo has about 15 people writing her songs, and that maybe explain why they're so pony. But I think it's just trying to bust some ideas in a room like that. It lifts the lid off the process and gives people a little bit of an insight. That's all I was trying to do. The great outcome for me would be if half of those people went away and thought, well, if it's just that simple, I can do that, because that's how I first started to write songs. And you want to empower them, you want to get across to them the idea that it's about you and your perspective. It's not about having the answers, because frankly, singer-songwriters, not only do we not have the answers, it's not our job to offer answers, it's our job to try and reflect what's going on, explain that, ask questions, put forward ideas. But ultimately, it's only the audience that can change the world, not singer-songwriters. But
with regard to the Occupy movement, I mean, have you got any songs bubbling up? Are you angry enough with what they're on about to get on your guitar and write something? Have you got something for us? Where have you got to?
Yeah, I mean, I was coming up to Occupy London Stock Exchange about 10, 11 days ago to play some songs. And it occurred to me that I didn't have anything that specifically referred to the movement. So there's a very old song called Which Side Are You On, which is a picket line classic, which comes from Harlan County in Kentucky in the 1930s, written by a woman called Florence Reese. I wrote a version about the miners' strike in 1984, which most people will be familiar with my version of it, would know that one. But I just rewrote the lyrics, same chorus. I went back and used Florence's original tune and just wrote some new lyrics around the perception that I have, things like the left is dead, the media said, but that's a goddamn lie. That which they could never kill went on to occupy. And in the camps, our watchword is accountability. In New York and in London, we demand transparency. Those kind of ideas, sort of trying to draw issues together. I think accountability is something that many of us have thought for quite some while now is going to be a very big issue in the 21st century. And, not merely accountability for our politicians, but accountability for those that have economic power over us. How do we hold the financial sector to account? How do we ensure that the business they do benefits everybody, and not just a very small clique of boardroom businessmen?
And did you ever imagine you'd be singing about banks?
I've been singing about banks for a long time. I mean, Woody Guthrie sang the banks are made of marble. I mean, I feel very, very much so that what we're doing is we're doing Woody Guthrie's work. I mean, I was over at Occupy Leeds earlier this week, singing some songs in the street there to people. That's what Woody Guthrie did. He never did what I did last night. He never played to the Forum, you know, and had 1,000 people come in, pay at the door, and sell them a T-shirt on the way out. He never did anything like that. It's when we're doing what I did in there. You know, his gigs were all in little red schoolrooms. You know, the very one live recording they have of him is almost like a lecture, talking about the songs and their stories and what it means. So, of course, you know, Woody Guthrie is the ultimate inspiration for me and for Joe Strummer, obviously Bob Dylan, that whole generation. So yeah, we should be doing this. It's playing at the Forum, which is I never thought after 28 years of doing this and doing politics, I would still have an audience to come to the Forum and sing the songs and respond so strongly as they did last night. I can't help but feel that the Occupy movement has supercharged not just my shows but the audience as well. You know, they feel, those of us who've been fighting for a fair and compassionate society, you know, in the 20th century, feel that the wind is blowing our way now, and we're very, very excited by what's going on with the Occupy movement.
So that's Billy Bragg channeling Woody Guthrie here into the Occupy movement in London. This is Patrick Chalmers signing off for Vision on TV.